Spill a cup of coffee and become a millionaire? We've all heard this story before, but really, how simple is this? I'm going to be sharing with you the facts of the Stella Liebeck versus McDonald's coffee case. Albuquerque, New Mexico, February 1992. Elderly grandmother Stella Liebeck, who is 79 years old, was in the passenger seat of her grandson's car when she pulled through the drive-thru to order an 8-ounce cup of coffee from McDonald's. She placed the coffee cup in her lap, unlocked the lid to place sugar and cream inside as a normal person would, but she accidentally had spilled the coffee all over her legs. She was immediately rushed to the hospital, where 16% of her body was covered in burns. 6% of those burns were third degree. Now, this case had spiraled out of control in the media and news because people only covered what they wanted to cover. There's many more hard-hitting facts and crucial details that were left out in the publication of this scenario. Stella Liebeck was in the hospital for 1 week, and she had reached medical expenses that cost $10,000. She emailed McDonald's for a reimbursement. She asked if they could recheck their temperatures for the safety of their customers and to reimburse her for the medical costs and loss of income. They only agreed to $800, and she tried with her attorney, Ken Wagner, 2 out-of-court settlements, but McDonald's would not agree. McDonald's was actually at fault by the jury because they had known for over 10 years the hazardous and dangerousness of this coffee cup. They would serve their coffee from 180 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit, and a burn expert revealed that within 15 seconds, any liquid of 180 degrees could cause a third-degree burn. So we could only imagine what elderly woman Stella Liebeck had endured. Her body was physically scarred. She had to get skin grafting and major surgery, and it was a lot of pain. But not only was her body scarred, her reputation was scarred as well. News publication and late-night talk shows, everyone covered the news and made a comedy out of her struggle and her pain. And everyone covered it from local news to international news. It made headlines everywhere because this case sounded ridiculous. I mean, it's her fault. Why would she get awarded money for that? But it was actually McDonald's fault. The jury had decided that they would decrease her compensation from $200,000 to $160,000 because 20% of the incident was her fault. But in order to show the big food chain companies that what they were doing was wrong and called negligence, they awarded her $2.9 million in settlement for the injuries she endured. This court case was covered all over the news, and she did win the money, but it was much more than just a settlement. It was to teach a lesson to the big food chains about negligence and not taking care of their customers in what they were serving. A court case had been taken because an incident had occurred in which the food chain was wrong. She was at fault too for spilling the coffee, but the facts weren't covered in the headlines. Now, this was controversial because people thought of this case to be a frivolous case. They thought the legal system was spiraling out of control, it was a broken system, and that she did not deserve the money because it was her fault. This impacts us today because now there's been advancements in coffee industry. I mean, coffee food chains like Starbucks and McDonald's are served everywhere. They've created better lid technology, so you don't have to open it and you could pour the extra ingredients inside directly. They included coffee cup holders, and nowadays some people even try to cause these accidents upon themselves to be awarded with some money. But this court case is important for us now because we learn that the severity and maliciousness of how people can fabricate stories and tailor it to how they want it to be. But the truth and hard-hitting facts are always going to remain there, just as the story of Stella Liebeck versus McDonald's. McDonald's lost its case, and she was awarded $2.9 million because of the scarring of her body and the pain she endured physically and mentally. And that was a story of Stella Liebeck. So next time you think about a $1 million coffee cup, now you'll know the true story behind it and all its hard-hitting facts. Thank you.